G'day guys, Ron here from Osborne Digital Marketing. Today I'm going to show you how to perform a keyword gap analysis in Semrush. Let's jump into it. So as you can see, I've got the information tab open right here in Google for Miami HVAC. So obviously going to be hitting up lovely Florida. Now, when you're performing a keyword gap analysis, what that is essentially you're going to look at your competitors to see what they're ranking for and see what you're missing. A keyword gap or a keyword gap analysis is a brilliant tool, a brilliant strategy that you can utilize to get some quick answers about what your competitors are doing really well. So what we're going to do right now is we're not going to grab the number one guy because he's ranking. Let's put yourself in the position that you were a HVAC contractor. Let's say you're further down the list, like maybe all the way. Let's grab Candelaire. Let's go with these guys. So you can see it's basically the domain, so they should be, it's not a service page or anything like that. So guys, not linked or affiliate or anything with these guys, just grabbing a completely random person, and I'm going to show you how to perform the keyword gap analysis, and we'll go through and look at their competitors. So what you want to do is you want to start with your domain first. So let's grab these guys and let's put them in Semrush. You all know by now that I utilize Semrush. I love Semrush. What I've used for years, and I'm very pleased with their services. So we can have a look and just see how they're performing. So they've been hit a little bit lately on the rebound up, but it's been pretty stagnant. There's not been a lot going on for these guys. What are they? Candelaire. Okay, so yeah, they're not doing too well. So they're ranking for a total of 251 keywords apparently as of this time of filming. Okay. So what we want to do now is, if you're in Semrush, you go over to the side here and you can see this right here, keyword gap. So the brilliant thing is you can do this on most of your paid tools. Obviously the cheaper tools, you're not going to really be able to utilize this feature, but we use this all the time because it's a quick way of analyzing what your competitor is doing well and what they're winning traffic for. So we want to start with our domain. Now we can add a heap of competitors. So this is where we go back over to the SERP. We see what Google is actually rewarding, and we want to grab these guys. So these guys, want to grab them. They're number one, legit site. Don't really want to hit up Yelp or Angie's, like stay away from them. They're not really relevant. You're chasing after particular pages. If you go after these, like the directory listings, they're going to give you some funny results. So you're not going to get the actual accurate information. So these guys as well, and these guys. So we're looking at the top people. Now, obviously, it's not just keyword gap analysis that will mean and determine that you get in the top position in SEO, especially nowadays. It's 1,000 different factors, but we're not focusing on that. I'm only going to show you today how to perform the keyword gap analysis in Semrush. So we want to grab all of our competitors. So we're going to grab this guy, and you come over here, put them in here, add another one. Grab these guys, same thing. Now we want to grab the actual domain. It's better if we grab the domain. You can grab, this is obviously a service page for this company, which is quite interesting. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can actually see it, and it doesn't look really bad. But this is going to be a location page. So if you guys want to learn more about location pages, I'll have a link or something popping up above so you can check that out. But that's pretty much what that is. We want to get straight to the root. And the reason we want to have a look at the root is because that's going to give us more information. So you have two options. You can look. What I would suggest, if you're doing a keyword gap analysis and you are a local business, you could utilize the service page. Because as an example, if you're a local business and then we look at this, 1 hour heating and air. So let's say they have a service page and they offer services over in Tampa or all the way up in Orlando. There's no real point in us analyzing those pages. But for the purpose of this video, I am going to show you from the root so you can see absolutely everything. You can get all of the data. You'll see everything compared to just that one-off page. But it's important to keep in mind that if you are doing something where it's a local, very locally focused business, perhaps it would be better to stick to that service page because that's a page that Google is rewarding. It's not necessarily rewarding everything else from the root. but we've got a root. We want to see what the other guys are doing. These guys were the root domain as well that were ranking in the top position. These guys don't even have a favicon, so yeah, beautiful. Grab these guys as well. So all you're doing is copy and pasting in all of your competitors, and that's us. And then we just make sure it's obviously set to the US. So if my head's in the way, you can see all of that information right now. You can check all of that out, but that's ultimately what you do, and you hit compare. So now this is going to go through and have a look and see what you're missing and what your competitors have. So these guys are killing it. They've got a lot of keywords. Wow. So what will happen is now that, let me just zoom in a little bit so it's probably a bit easier to see. Yeah, there we go. So my buff head will be in the way a little bit, but ultimately what you can see is up above is we've obviously got the keyword intent, and then we've got, it should be our website here, and then all of our competitors across here. So this, I can't tell in all honesty because I will need to export the data, but that's what we're going to do now. So what we will do is we'll rip out all of the data, and we'll be able to, I'll show you how you can go through it in detail. But something really, really powerful and really, really cool is you can actually see, what I like about Semrush is that this green right here, they place the highest ranker. So as an example, for the AC repair in Miami, it would be awesome if they enabled their stuff to be like, you could make the column wider, but unfortunately you can't do that. So you don't even know who this is. So that's actually quite painful. There we go. So this is Kendall. This is us. Okay. I believe it is. Let's see. This is just taking a moment to load. No, we don't actually know for sure. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit of a silly thing that you can't extend that across. That's really painful. But let me just show you as an example, these guys right here, I've made it filtered. So these guys are obviously have all the highest numbers, but what you can do for AC maintenance Miami, these guys are ranking number 1. So here we go. This is the Service Experts Miami website. So this one is us. So this column right here is us. This is the Service Experts Miami. This is the 1 hour. This is the Harps Repair, I believe it is. So you can see over here, this is all of your competitors right here. This is us. So we were looking for Kendall. We were looking at these guys here. So you can see that we're in position 4 for this keyword. So AC Maintenance Miami, we're in position 4. And then these guys right here, which was the service experts in Miami, they're sitting in position 1. And you can see the other 2 competitors. This one's not too far behind us. These guys are way, way behind us. So as an example, you can go through and see what you're ranking for really well. And you can go through and actually have a look at all of your competitors, because let's just say, like, our website was further down the list. Yes, it was for Miami HVAC, but perhaps air condition Miami is not an appropriate keyword to go after. AC company Miami, that's good to be in that. AC service Miami, these are good keywords to be in position 2 for. So you can start to go through, because you might be beating yourself up that your campaign's not performing well for one specific keyword. But then when you utilize a keyword gap analysis, you start to see that there's some good keywords here that you're actually performing for and your competitors are not. So you don't go away and change all of your content on your website to mix things around. So it's important to rank for that keyword that we just utilized, which was Miami HVAC. Perhaps it's better to rank for these keywords. Perhaps you're getting more results for that. So that's why it's important to do a keyword gap analysis. A keyword gap analysis enables you to see this information. Because when it comes to SEO, the changes you make today will be reflected in 3 months' time. It's not going to happen overnight. So you want to make sure that before you do anything different, you are positive that what you do today is the right thing. I honestly believe that 98% of SEO is just research. It's important to go away, make sure that you're implementing the right and appropriate strategy for the website, and everything else will follow. You'll still have to do all your backlink building. You'll still have to create great content. But at the end of the day, if you research the wrong keywords, you can land yourself and end up wasting 3 months. So that's why a keyword gap is really, really cool. So as you can see, those are the words we're performing well on. However, let's go over to one of our competitors and have a look and see what they're performing really well on. Let's have a look. So they might actually be better keywords. So HVAC services, HVAC service Miami, they're number one, but there's only 30 searches a month. So that's important to consider. So when you are obviously, I assume if you know what a keyword gap analysis is, you know all the basics about keywords, but if you don't, volume, which means how many searches a month, estimated, and the keyword difficulty over here, cost per click, so how much it is for that click on Google Ads, and the possible conversion rate, so like, oh, how competitive it is essentially. So the higher it is, the more difficult it is. So lower it is, the better it is to appear for that, and how many results on the web there are for that specific keyword. But as you can see, you can start to go through and have a look at your competitors. Now, what we will do is we'll export the data right now, and we'll have a look and see what they're performing well for on a Google Sheets, because I love Google Sheets. That's what we utilize in my agency. But as you can see, HVAC Repair Miami, these guys are number 3. So they're killing it for that. So they're doing really, really well for that keyword. 170 searches a month. That's a lot better than what we were doing. So that's why it's important. That's why it's important to do this. So you can also export it. So once you've had a look at it, you can also do all of your searches and filters and all of that type of stuff in here. So obviously it's all up here. You can have a look at intent. So perhaps you're having a bit of writer's block, so you don't know what to write about. Happens to the best of us. This is the cheeky way of coming in, finding some keywords to talk about. So what you can do is informational, click apply, and then you can go to your competitors and actually have a look at what they're ranking well for. So let's just say shared, untapped. Let's have a look at untapped. So that'll mean that we're essentially not utilizing those keywords. We don't have anything. So we can scroll through who's got the most. Let's go with these guys. So we can go through and have a look. Start to see ranking in position 0. That's not ideal. I always find Semrush takes a little bit to load when I'm utilizing OBS, so sorry guys. And there's a lot of keywords here, almost 50,000 keywords. So you can come in and start to have a look, see where they're performing quite well. You might be able to get some ideas, and it's obviously, that it's just going to throw in a heap of random keywords. All right, I think it might be easier because that is just huge volume. Unique, like it might be better that we utilize someone smaller, because let's do that. Let's export it, and I'll show you how to utilize it in the export, because it just might be a little bit easier for everyone to see and understand. And then that way, if you have a friend that has Semrush and you don't, they can always send this across to you so you can actually analyze it. But this is a great way of looking at the information and trying to figure out what it is. So we can only export 30,000, but for this example, that's a lot of keywords. Like that's a ludicrous amount of keywords. So let's get rid of some of these tabs, because this will be slowing me down. Import. And put this in here. So it just depends on when you're doing keyword research. You can do this on Ahrefs, you can do this on most reputable tools, but I like Semrush. I'm not a fan of Ahrefs. They've got some cool things, and yes, I use them from time to time. But to be honest, like I get this question a lot: why do I hate on Ahrefs? I don't think, like I had massive, to be honest, I had massive problems with them when I signed up, when I was back home in Australia with them. And I signed up, but I had a business operating in the States at that point in time. And like they well overcharged me, and it was set up with their US business. I was just back home visiting family. Long story short, I had huge problems. I was promised the world. They never turned out. It was absolute nightmare dealing with their customer service. Like, it was the most horrible ordeal that I've ever been through. I know this is a bit of a rant, but I get asked why I don't use Ahrefs all the time. Ahrefs was a nightmare for me to use, to be completely honest, and they were absolutely atrocious. And I rank customer service, like, customer service to me is the most important thing. If you're an agency owner, if you work with customers, that, like, honestly, customer service, then your performance. That's how you should be honestly considering everything. Trying to make sure that you always care for the customer. Because if you're a horrible person, you can move the entire world for your client. But if they don't like dealing with you, then it doesn't matter how good your performance is. Make sure you look after the customer. And I was not looked after. It was a horrible ordeal. Went on for weeks. I almost had to get my attorney involved. That's how bad they were. So that's why I don't like Ahrefs. Yeah, that's why I use Semrush. Replace current sheet. So yeah, that's a bit of a rant, but I do get asked all the time why I don't use Ahrefs. That's why, because I just think that they're a nightmare. Their customer service is absolutely atrocious. Yeah, they're not good to work with. I'm in business. I want to work with people that care about my business as well. So as you can see, everything's appeared and popped in. So you can scroll across, make everything a bit bigger. I'll try and make it big for you guys so you can actually see everything. So I want to make sure that you can see everything. Everything pops up and it's nice and pretty and clear and legible. But what you can do is, obviously, if you're missing for anything, this is just taking a moment to load. Awesome. Ever since that Google Chrome update, it's been super bad, like really, really bad. So what we can do is we can obviously go high ticket. Like, if we're looking for a blog post, so as an example, you're utilizing a keyword gap analysis to look for blog content ideas. You want to know what to write about. So if you're running a service for a HVAC company, or you own one yourself, whoever you are, whatever you do, this is a great way of performing and getting over writer's block. So as an example, you can set it to be, like, above a specific number. So greater than or equal to, let's just say we wouldn't want it to be under 50, just as an example. Scroll down, okay. So we're ensuring that the search volume is over 50. So now what we can do is we can look at our competitors that are really, really doing well, and you can start to just go, okay, let's sort from A to Z. So let's see what individuals are doing well for, and let's see what we're missing out on. So let's click on that. Okay, so A to Z, we can start scrolling through. Now you can obviously put a heap of filters and all this sort of stuff on, but I'm not going to do that because, yeah, the way this is going, it might crash on us. But you can start to see other keywords too. So they're 24/7. They're ranking for that. We're nowhere to be seen. So this is our column right here. We're nowhere to be found for 24/7 HVAC repair near me. So that's something to think of. So you could simply just come in, put a yellow. Okay, let's have a look at that. That's something that could be something that's quite powerful and quite good. And you can start to go through and look at everything that they're ranking number one for, we're not even appearing for. So that's a bit of a red flag. If you notice that your competitors 1, 2, 3, first page, high up on the first page, and you're a 0, you've got nothing. You don't have a 60, you don't have a 70 something, it's just 0. This is a great idea to go in there, have a look, and perhaps create some more service pages, especially if you offer those services. But as you can see, these guys are doing a lot. So AC repair in Tampa, like I was saying before, you don't want to necessarily analyze it if it's a big website, but this is a perfect example. Why? If you're not going after Tampa, you're not going after a big area, and you are a local business, just keep it focused on your one area. But for the purposes of this video, I just put it in as the root. So you can come down, you can go repair, air conditioning headache. That's interesting. Air compressor not turning. So air conditioning compressor not turning on. It's like maybe you could write a blog post about that. Obviously, that's someone that's having a problem. But let's say you have an air conditioning repair service page. You can create this as the supporting content for that. So, hit top 10 reasons why your air conditioning compressor is not turning on in Miami. That's how you can do it. So there's your blog post right there. That's how you can utilize keyword gap analysis and utilizing Semrush keyword gap analysis to really identify awesome bits of content. When it comes to this, like, there's a lot of pros here, as you've seen. There's a pro for finding keywords, there's a pro for perhaps mapping out your own content plans and structures. It's important that you don't get too carried away with it though, because as an example, this might not be the right competitor to go and match yourself against. They might have a bigger budget. You've got to look at the backlinks. It's not just the keyword gap that's going to support you. Their pages that they're performing number one for, they might have 1,000 backlinks, high quality backlinks coming into it. That's a lot of work for you to do to go after them and try and match that. So don't think that a keyword gap analysis is going to be the thing that gets you over the line. It's important that you utilize this tool to help you gain a picture, but SEO is 1,000 moving parts. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You slowly start piecing all the pieces together, and then you'll have your ideal solution. So I hope you've enjoyed this video of how to perform a keyword gap analysis in Semrush. If you have any questions, let me know. If you've enjoyed the video and now you know how to do this, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe. I hope I've given you value, and I hope you have a lovely day. Cheers.